Hello everyone, welcome back to Stock Market Meridian. Today is 10th August 2026 and you're watching today's pre-market report. Let's begin with the global markets. Starting with the US markets. All the major indices closed in the positive zone and at present, US index futures are also trading in the positive zone, indicating continued positive sentiment. Moving to the European markets. All the major European markets also ended in the green zone. Now, looking at the Asian markets. Japan, China and South Korea have opened with a gap-up opening. So overall, global markets are indicating a positive sentiment at the start of today's session. Now, let's move to commodities. US WTI crude oil is currently trading around $77 to $79 per barrel, while Brent crude is trading near $86 to $88 per barrel. On Friday, Indian crude oil futures ended with nearly 0.6% gains, while natural gas futures also closed around 0.75% higher. Moving to the precious metals segment, Indian gold futures closed with nearly 2% gains, while international gold futures are currently trading in the neutral zone. Meanwhile, Indian silver futures ended with around 2.5% upside, while international silver futures are trading below those levels. So overall, the commodity market remains relatively firm, with crude oil and precious metals continuing to remain important factors for today's market sentiment. Now let's check ADR data. On Friday, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank ADRs closed in the negative zone. However, on the positive side, Reliance Industries, Wipro, Infosys and Dr. Reddy's Laboratories ADRs closed with strong momentum. So overall, the ADR performance was mixed, with some major banking stocks remaining under pressure while several other large cap stocks showed positive momentum. Now let's move to the FII and DII data. On Friday, institutional activity remained very low. FIIs bought around 480 crore rupees while DIIs bought around 235 crore rupees. Well, although the buying numbers are relatively small, being on the buying side is still much better than seeing heavy selling from institutional investors. Now let's check the economic calendar. On Friday, India's foreign exchange reserves data came out slightly positive. In the United States, average hourly earnings and non-farm payroll data came out negative, while the US unemployment rate for July was released positive. For today, there are no major economic updates scheduled. However, tomorrow, Japan's markets will remain closed due to a government holiday. We also have the Reserve Bank of Australia's interest rate decision along with the US existing home sales data for July. So traders should keep an eye on these events, especially the Australian interest rate decision and US housing data. Now, let's move to the geopolitical updates. The geopolitical situation remains tense, with a series of drone and missile strikes targeting critical transport and energy infrastructure across the region. Houthi forces carried out a large-scale missile and drone attack targeting Saudi-backed troops and port infrastructure in Al-Makha, a Red Sea port city in Yemen. According to Yemeni military officials, the attack killed 7 people and caused damage to port piers, buildings, and commercial food supplies. The attack also caused significant structural damage. Meanwhile, a fire broke out early Sunday at Saudi Aramco's refinery in Jizan, which has a capacity of around 400,000 barrels per day. The Saudi Ministry of Energy confirmed that industrial firefighting teams successfully extinguished the fire, with no casualties reported. Houthi military spokesperson Yahya Saree claimed responsibility, saying that the Jizan refinery was targeted with a precise drone strike. At the same time, diplomatic efforts are continuing behind the scenes. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and US officials confirmed that talks mediated by Oman regarding routes through the Strait of Hormuz are progressing. However, Iran has stressed that reopening the Strait of Hormuz remains linked to broader conditions. US President Donald Trump also commented on the situation, saying that economic pressure on Iran is increasing and describing US engagement as a strategic chess game. Meanwhile, Iranian leadership stated that they are not holding direct negotiations with Washington, with messages being exchanged strictly through intermediaries. On the Gaza front, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed that Israel has rejected the proposed 15-point peace plan, stating that Israeli forces will not withdraw until Hamas is fully disarmed. So overall, the geopolitical situation remains highly sensitive, with Houthi strikes targeting Red Sea energy hubs and port facilities, while diplomatic negotiations over the Strait of Hormuz continue. Global energy markets remain on high alert. Any further escalation could have a direct impact on crude oil prices, inflation expectations, and global equity markets. Now let's move to the quarterly results announced after Friday's market close. First, we have Titan. Revenues, EBITDA, net profit, and margins all improved very strongly on both a year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. Overall, Titan's results were good. Next, we have Hitachi Energy, which we also know as Power India. All major earnings parameters improved very strongly on a year-on-year basis but declined on a quarter-on-quarter basis. This type of quarterly decline can be common because of seasonal factors. So, despite the quarterly decline, the overall results were good. Next, Oil India posted a very good set of quarterly results. The market was not expecting such strong results from oil-related companies this quarter, especially considering the impact of geopolitical tensions and crude oil prices. However, Oil India beat expectations and posted very strong results on both a year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. Overall, the results were very strong. Next, we have Power Finance Corporation. The company's non-performing assets decreased on a year-on-year basis and remained stable quarter-on-quarter, which is positive. However, the remaining key earnings parameters, including revenue, net interest income, and margins, declined on both a yearly and quarterly basis. Overall, the results were disappointing. Next, Cupid posted a very strong set of results. As expected by the market, the company delivered good quarterly numbers. Overall, the results were positive. Next, we have Kaynes Technology. Revenues and EBITDA improved only on a year-on-year basis. However, net profit and margins declined on both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. Overall, the results were bad. Next, Ola Electric. The company's revenue improved only on a quarter-on-quarter basis, while declining on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA, net profit, and margins remained in loss. However, the losses decreased compared with both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter figures. Overall, the results were just okay. Next, Inox Wind posted a very bad set of results. Only the EBITDA margin improved on a quarter-on-quarter basis. The remaining earnings parameters declined on both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. Overall, the results were very weak. Next, we have Delivery Limited. Revenue improved on both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. EBITDA improved year-on-year but declined quarter-on-quarter basis. However, net profit and both margins declined on both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. Overall, the results were disappointing. Next, Akums Drugs. All major earnings parameters improved strongly on both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. Overall, the results were good. Next, Sigol India. Revenue, net profit, EBITDA, and margins improved on a year-on-year basis, but declined on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Again, the quarterly decline can be attributed to seasonal factors. Overall, the results were good. And finally, Apollo Microsystems. Revenue, EBITDA, and net profit improved on a year-on-year basis, but declined on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Margins declined on both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. Overall, the results were weak. Now let's check Gift Nifty. On Friday, Gift Nifty closed around the 24,721 level, and today it opened with a 35-point gap down. Overall, Gift Nifty is indicating a muted start or a slight gap down opening for our markets. And that's all for today's pre-market report. Now, I want to know from you, which company are you tracking the most from today's results? And also, which company's results should I include in today's post-market report? Let me know in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stock Market Meridian. And I'll see you again this evening with today's post-market report. Thank you for watching. Signing off, Jai Hind.